Story number 1. A solo camper drives into Alaska's Thompson Pass during a major winter storm, but avalanches close the highway. Authorities build a snow wall behind him, and heavy snow nearly collapses his roof.
And then we'll pop the rooftop tent up before a whole load of snow lands on it and I can't lift it. Okay, big problem. The roof just wanted to come down. I've got to get out there. I don't know what's going on out there. It must be heavy snow.
While climbing toward the pass, he passes another vehicle that has spun into a snowbank. Winds approach 50 miles per hour. Drifting snow repeatedly covers the road, and visibility continues deteriorating.
We've got about 20 miles to go. I just passed someone who spun off the road into the snowbank. He was in a Subaru Outback. Just obviously fishtailed on him. He was digging himself out. I asked if he needed a tow out, and he's like, "No, I'm all good, thanks, no worries." And someone else just pulled up and stopped as well. So he said, "No, don't need any help. I'm fine." So I'm still, 20 miles. It's visibility, as you can tell, is not too bad. But if you go main beam, that's when you just can't see anything. And the snow is going to get much heavier today, apparently, up here in the pass. So all I'm focusing on is just getting there and setting up camp.
He attempts to reach Worthington Glacier using unfamiliar snowshoes. Flat light hides the terrain, and even with the oversized shoes, he sinks into snow nearly 3 feet deep.
I've moved the truck around as well. A couple of times I've had to turn it around because of gusting wind. Wow, this light is so flat. Look, I can't see anything. I can't make anything out in the ground. Whoa! Even a foot in front of me, I can barely see what the snow is doing. And that's why. There's a snowbank there. So look how much I'm sinking, even with these massive snowshoes on.
Alaska transportation workers arrive with a warning. Avalanches are approaching and the highway is closing. He chooses to remain at camp, so a snowplow builds a berm across the entrance and locks him inside.
The Alaska Department of Transport just stopped by, and it's coming down out there. They are closing the highway. And policy is you can either go back with them to the DOT center, which is about 10 minutes back that way, and stay there, camp there, or camp where you are, and they have to put a berm, a small berm, just like a foot of snow at the entrance to stop people coming in camping or leaving and going on the highway. I don't know if you can hear that beeping in the background. So that is the snowplow now blocking me in.
By morning, the original berm has grown into a wall nearly reaching his shoulder. Large animal tracks, possibly coyotes or wolves, cross the isolated area while the highway remains completely inaccessible.
These are quite big prints. And there's several. And they've crossed over here. It's like a pack. It's got to be coyotes, right? They have absolutely blocked me in. Now, they did say they were going to do this. And I said, yeah, cool, no problem. It's almost up to my shoulder. There's no way I'm getting out of this thing. Crazy. So they've cleared the other side and they've just shoved it all up here.
Wet snow accumulates on the rooftop tent until the entire roof suddenly begins collapsing. He catches it with his arms, wedges a camera tripod beneath it, and climbs onto the truck without a ladder. Big problem. It's obviously snowing a lot outside. The roof just wanted to come down. It just tried to sink. So I've got the bed up and I've got it propped up with my tripod. I've got to get out there. I don't know what's going on out there. It must be heavy snow. I've got to try and get as much snow off of the roof as possible. I've no idea how I'm going to do this. I've got to climb up somehow up onto the top of the truck and start getting the snow off. I've got to do that now, so I see you out there. After removing the snow, he admits the collapse could have happened while he was sleeping. The weight had forced the roof directly onto him, leaving him struggling to hold it above his head.
It did, so it came down on top of me, literally. I went to move the bed, and the whole thing wanted to come down. I had to hold it with all my might, and then I had to wedge my tripod underneath. Crazy. Let's just see what it looks like inside. Oh, my tripod's fallen down. That's good. That means that the whole thing's popped up properly.
The worst part of the storm arrives, violently rocking the truck. Multiple avalanches block the surrounding highway, and he realizes that leaving the vehicle for a tent camp could have ended disastrously.
Roof tent went shoo and started to come down. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And with all my might, I had to hold it and push it up, but it still wanted to come down now. That was it. It was too late. So I'm clambering. I'm holding it with one arm. So that's the weight of all of that. Holding with one arm, I'm reaching for my tripod and wedging my tripod under it, extending the legs, still holding it, and then I wedged it there and it held. And then I got you on camera and I ran out and did all that.
During his second night, avalanche cannons continue exploding across the mountains. The shelter's walls freeze from the inside. His bedding becomes wet and the highway remains closed, leaving his escape unresolved until the next morning.
Wow, avalanche cannon. So you hear it go bang, that's firing the round, the explosive up into the... Oh, and it's an avalanche, I can hear it echoing. Wow. So they're still working on all the slip material. They must assume more is going to come down. And the update's not until 12 o'clock tomorrow, so I hope the roads are going to be open tomorrow because I wanted to head off. I've got to get up north. It's quite a way to go. Yeah, so bit of a problem. I'll work out a solution.
Story number 2, snow. Two campers enter a snow-covered forest at night, surrounded by steep drop-offs, deep snow and bitter wind. Then, unexplained voices and animal-like sounds begin following them through the trees. As snowfall increases, one camper suddenly hears what sounds like people talking from a rocky ravine below. There is no obvious trail or person there, so they keep moving instead of climbing down into dangerous terrain. Reflective.
We've got the tent set up. The snow doesn't look like it's going to let up anytime soon. It's total whiteout. Visibility is not very far. Well, we are perched up on top of a hill with a freshwater lake right behind us and some nice pine trees and spruce poking out of the fog in a little bit. So Boomer's running around playing in the snow. I'm still trying to set up the inside of the tent. I've still got chair, table, and food and all that stuff to get set up inside as well as up top. So let's get to work.
Eyes appear briefly in the darkness, followed later by a faint growl and distant howl. They consider coyotes or wolves as realistic possibilities, reminding themselves that unfamiliar wilderness sounds do not automatically mean something paranormal. They choose
Negative 11 degrees Celsius later on this evening, and I'm basically going to be hunkering inside of this tent. I don't think I want to do a whole lot of outdoor venturing around. My pants are already soaked, my gloves are soaked, my jacket is quite wet. My big down jacket that I'm leaning on right now needs to dry out, and it is wet out there, windy. We're in the open, exposed here. Just not a good idea to be walking around out there in the snow getting totally soaked. Now, I do have a full change of clothes. I do have the alcohol stove here, which is still burning, so I can warm up my hands very briefly. And I did bring the diesel heater, so I'm going to be bringing the Jackery inside here with the diesel heater, running the tube upstairs. So once I do go in the tent for the night,
a campsite, but immediately notice a questionable tree nearby that could fall in stronger wind. Rather than camp underneath it, they move and build their fire elsewhere before their hands become too cold.
towards the pot and get everything situated in there and have a nice hot meal, because that is what I need. I am absolutely soaked. I'm shivering, I'm shaking, my socks are wet, shoes, pants, boxers, gloves, jackets, everything absolutely soaked, and I am just counting down the minutes until I can crawl upstairs, crank that diesel heater on, and get totally changed in dry clothes But until then, let's get cracking on this hot soup and eat, and then make our way upstairs.
While cutting firewood, one camper hears a distant voice, apparently saying, "Hey." Minutes later, the other hears something similar. With no lights or people visible, they stay near the fire.
So in here, I brought some vegetables from home, and they're not frozen yet, but they are getting a little cold. So I got some green spinach. I brought 2 pieces of French bread. I also brought 2 packs of miso, so I have an option whether I want to do a cream soup or a miso-based soup. I think I'm going to go with cream of leek with the chicken and the rice. So I'm going to prep all this up and get it ready in the pot. Get that chicken cooked up, get that off, get the pot on, and heat it up. And if you guys can't tell, I am shivering and shaking, absolutely freezing cold on this one. Not a pleasant time, I will say that, but I'm just counting down, like I said earlier on. Get up there inside, get that diesel heater cranked on, and get nice and warm, because it is absolutely cold down here right now.
And avoid chasing the sound. Growling is heard from different directions, and one camper sees movement in the shadows. Instead of continuing alone without a proper light,
and these pieces of metal getting hot basically gave way. So that wasn't very enjoyable, holding the pot the entire time over the alcohol stove, but it worked. And this is what I'm left with. A nice hot soup. Loads of chicken in there, vegetables. Now I did split the chicken, gave a bunch to Boomer up top in the tent. He was snacking on that. So he's had food. I am definitely going to enjoy this. I'm shivering and shaking as I'm sitting here trying to talk.
he returns toward the fire while they consider ordinary wildlife among the possible explanations. The situation becomes more intense when one camper sees a tall, dark shape and then hears a snarl that seems extremely close. The other reports,
the diesel heater is on and is cranked to the maximum heat output, even though right now it doesn't feel like it to me because I just came up here, just got changed. So I'm in my down pants, I've got my slippers on, my shirt and sweater are what I was wearing outside, so it's still damp and quite cold. But I'm gonna wear it and kind of sit next to the diesel heater output, that way it'll dry out while it's on me. My other jacket and all my other clothing are up here. I'm gonna hang that basically up on these little tie-outs everywhere. So I'm gonna have clothing all over the place. I just didn't want to do it now because it's gonna be really hard to film with clothing hanging all over the place. So once the camera gets shut off, everything's gonna get hung up. My shoes are absolutely soaking wet. So I'm gonna try and tie those up here somewhere, or possibly even put the output of the heater inside of one of the shoes, do one at a time.
seeing something human-sized moving elsewhere, but neither gets a clear enough view to identify it. More tapping and movement come from the trees as both men begin losing body heat. Rather than continue deeper into the forest, they turn back.
But last night got down to about -10, -11 degrees Celsius. I was in my boxers and just a long sleeve shirt. It was that hot up there. I turned it down to speed number 1 while I went to sleep. Woke up this morning totally warm.
Warm themselves one final time and prepare to leave. A nearby howl follows them toward the exit. Once back inside the vehicle, they notice another car behaving strangely.
Ice off of it, get the tailgate closed, and we're gonna hit the road and get out of here. So thank you guys very much for joining us on this quick but snowy and cold adventure. And Boomer's beard is all snow covered, so.
Story number 3. A van traveler becomes stranded on Norway's Ifjord mountain after authorities close the road during a powerful Arctic blizzard. With no cell service, rapidly building snowdrifts, and visibility nearly erased,
the storm gates have closed the road and I am completely alone in the remote and harsh blizzard-blasted whiteout landscape. The challenge now is, can I escape? Now we're talking!
as the storm strengthens, he keeps his cameras inside plastic bags after bringing them in from the cold. This helps reduce condensation forming inside sensitive electronics when frozen equipment suddenly enters a warm, humid vehicle.
Now I got my 2 main cameras in plastic bags. My microphone. This one has not been used. So my two main cameras are in plastic bags. It's kind of something you want to do if you have one of these cameras outside in cold when you take them in. You want to have them in plastic bags so that it kind of prevents.
A snowdrift begins building beside the van on ground that had been almost bare the previous day. Instead of attempting to drive immediately, he remains sheltered and prepares to wait for conditions to improve.
Snow drift that's building next to my van here. Give us a few more days of that and it would go up to the roof. That was bare ground yesterday.
The road finally disappears beneath wind-blown snow. With no normal cell signal, Starlink becomes his communication link. He recognizes that he is officially stranded and avoids going outside as the blizzard intensifies.
So I got no cell service, but I got my Starlink, and it's perfect. Well, I guess I can officially say that I'm stranded out here now. There's no way to get out of here or get through this road here. It's just completely blown over with snow. Kind of cool to be all by yourself way out here. Any difference with the exterior lights? Well, it's gonna start helping soon.
After spending extended periods outside, he discovers snow has entered through an opening in his ski bibs and soaked his wool layers. Once he begins feeling cold, he changes completely into dry clothing, an important winter lesson because wet insulation loses effectiveness quickly.
I changed into dry clothes. I was wet, and that's because I had forgotten to take I forgotten to close the side of my ski bibs, so I got snow in on my woolen long johns and didn't notice that until I sat down. And then I started feeling cold and I was like, wow, I'm wet, so I changed everything.
He explains several preparations made before winter: a newer starter battery, cold weather coolant, and Arctic-grade diesel designed for lower temperatures. Severe weather travel depends not only on personal clothing, but also on preparing the vehicle itself for extreme cold.
See if I forgot about something. On my outside van tour, so I changed the starter battery in the van this fall in preparation for this winter, and that's probably the reason why it's been quite easy to start in any conditions, the van. There's one more thing to note about vehicles bought up here in the north, in the Nordics, Sweden, Finland and Norway, is that they come already with the necessary fluids like the coolant and other fluids have lower freezing point than what you get in the rest of Europe and the United States.
The road remains impassable until the storm abruptly stops. Within minutes, Norwegian snowplow crews arrive and begin reopening the route, rather than leaving travelers to force their own way through deep drifts.
Already here. That was fast. Meaning that I can probably get out now without problems.
By morning, the temperature has fallen to around -11 degrees Celsius. The driveway is cleared, parts of the van are frozen solid, and snow surrounds the wheels. But the road is open again, allowing him to prepare for a controlled escape instead of taking unnecessary risks during the storm.
Snow and ice in the back wheel here, but we'll try it. These are the new White Walker wheels.
Story number 4. A couple drives their camper van toward the Arctic Circle when extreme cold starts freezing critical systems. Soon temperatures approach, mouse 30 degrees Celsius. At only -4 degrees Celsius, their LPG regulator freezes and they lose the ability to cook. They temporarily warm it back to life, but quickly realize they need a permanent solution before traveling farther north.
Last night it got down to -14, which is the record for us in the van. The LPG regulator froze up, which meant we couldn't cook. So I was under the van having to warm the regulator up, and luckily got it going again. But we need to figure out what we're going to do with that, because obviously we can't be doing this every day.
Temperatures plunge toward -30 degrees Celsius, and both vans begin losing engine temperature while driving. They pull over and install makeshift front covers to reduce freezing airflow through the engine bay, preparation that becomes increasingly important in extreme cold.
We're very far, and Alex's temperature is starting to drop on his van, so he's just makeshifting an engine cover to protect from the wind. So he's just making it now, and then we can.
Finding camp becomes another challenge because most pull-offs are buried and unplowed. They also learn that around -37 degrees Celsius, even Arctic diesel can begin causing problems, so engine preheating becomes part of their overnight planning.
Yes, the problem we're having is all the spots that we're trying to find to camp for the night are all just covered in snow. Nothing's been ploughed, so we're just in convoy up the main road, just inside Finland, just trying to find somewhere. So hopefully find somewhere soon, both ready for a beer, ready for dinner. So hopefully the next spot that we found on Google Earth looks like it should be like a bit of a main road pull-in, so fingers crossed. So Alex has just found another spot up the road, so he's going to take a look and see if it's any good. Apparently it looks quite nice, but no doubt it's probably covered in snow. So Alex just went up the road to see whether there was a better spot, but the fact that he's back tells me that it was a no-go. The coldest is at 4 AM, and he said if we check at 4 AM and it's like low as like -37, to put our engine preheater on, because it was -37 last year, whereas Arctic diesel started to gel.
Oh.
And he couldn't get his diesel heater the engine preheater started.
They finally fix the recurring LPG problem by wrapping a heat trace cable around the regulator and adding a temperature sensor. Once it warms above freezing, the gas begins working normally again.
So the other day we mentioned about having issues with our LPG. The regulator was sticking in the cold, even though it's rated down to -20. I think even at -5, -10, it was still cutting out. So what I've done now is I have installed a heat trace cable, and that's wrapped around the valve, and then we have a switch up in the cupboard, because I have an old feed going down under the van that I've used, and now we just switch that on. I've also added a spare temperature sensor so we can monitor the temperature, and then once we see that it comes just above freezing, the gas comes on. And
after intentionally camping deep along a Finnish forest track during a snowstorm, they wake to find the road completely erased beneath fresh snow. Rather than immediately attempting an exit, they stay put and monitor conditions.
So the snow arrived as planned. We are down a deep, long forest track in Finland. Plenty fell through the night. We woke up and we couldn't even see the road from last night. And yeah, nice surprise. The road has completely gone, which was great fun for the dogs this morning. We're gonna hunker down here today and get some work done and see what happens with the snow.
Inside, condensation has frozen above the ceiling insulation and begins dripping as it thaws. With almost no useful winter solar, they depend on the alternator to recharge batteries powering heaters and freeze protection systems.
Frost. Obviously we have all our packing cubes and everything in there, so the heat just won't get there at all. I think in that corner just there, we could actually see ice in that very corner. So we just got everything opened up and let it thaw out, let it dry out hopefully. Heating's on max, dogs are loving that. So the cable's heating the waste pipes and the diesel heater's running non-stop. So I'm going to start the engine, run it for about an hour, and that should top us up. So there you go, you should be able to see that. Just charging just short of 2.5 kilowatts. We've got a bit of losses, it will just be whatever's been used on the 12 volt sides, like the fridge and the lights and everything. So if we had everything off, it would be slightly higher than that, but yeah, that's what keeps us ticking.
Before leaving, they inspect the unplowed hill, clear heavy snow from the van roof, and start the engine preheater. Then an unexpected snowplow clears the road, making their planned, difficult escape considerably safer.
Engine preheater's on. Gotta get the van turned around. And then let's try and get out of it. Snow depth check. What we got? I reckon that's a good 15, 18 centimetres. What's going on here? Someone just came and ploughed the road. I was going to have fun on that. Thanks, mate.
Story number 5. A solo traveler crosses Norway in a tiny overloaded car when winter roads and mechanical problems begin stacking up. Soon, simply reaching Geiranger becomes uncertain.
Do you think go back and go up the way we came?
I don't feel safe going that way, at least.
Do you want us to turn around so you can follow us back up?
Yeah.
The rear of the car suddenly starts wandering left and right, making him uncomfortable above 60 kilometers per hour. Instead of continuing at normal speed, he stops and decides to inspect the problem after resting, an important reminder that unexplained handling changes should never be ignored.
A little bit scared that something's wrong with the car. It feels like the rear of the car is steering to the left and to the right. Yeah, something's really off with the car, but makes me a little bit scared to drive faster than 60. But it only started happening about 20 minutes ago. Could have something to do with the road. The car is moving all over the place. Oh shit. I'm going to stop the car because something's wrong with the car.
Deep snow forces him partly into the opposite lane. When a truck passes, the car gets pulled toward a ditch, begins tilting, then slides sideways before recovering. He stops again rather than repeatedly gambling with the road edge.
Again in the ditch, and it was already tilting and sliding into it. For some reason it bounced off. I slid sideways on the road, and then I came to a stop, and my god, that could have ended very bad for us because the ditch was a lot deeper. Yeah, I'm a little bit afraid to go to the side again. I think we should find a place to stop and wait for the snow plow to come over. I'm not the type of person who's afraid really fast, but yeah, I don't like it. I don't like this at all. Oh, can I stop the car over here maybe? Yeah, looks like it.
Near Geiranger, strange metallic noises return. The fully loaded car sits unusually low, and every bump makes the situation worse. Inside a tunnel with nowhere safe to stop, he becomes convinced something underneath is failing.
Yeah, this definitely doesn't sound good. But there's no option. I need to go to the tunnel. And I'm going through the tunnel now. And there's no way of stopping over here. Oh, this really doesn't sound good. I really want to find a parking place now. Something is breaking.
After reaching somewhere safer, he investigates, instead of blindly continuing. He realizes a metal shield behind the brake disc is rubbing, carefully bends it away, and the noise disappears, showing how identifying the exact symptom can prevent unnecessary guesswork.
What I did was I tried to push the metal bracket a little bit back, away from the brake disc, with the scissors. And I have no idea if it's going to work, but... You hear that? The sound is gone. The sound is gone! Oh my god, that was so clever. That was amazing stuff. I'm so happy right now. That was really what was the problem. I was listening to a video that I made and I sent it to a friend. And when I was listening to the sound on my phone, I could identify what it was, the metal sound. I could hear it on the phone better than in real life. So then I got a clear moment. I thought, that must be it. That's it. That's the sound. So I took the scissors and pushed back the metal bracket behind the disc, the brake disc, and voila, it's gone.
Before dinner, another traveler gets a Volvo buried in snow. He joins the recovery, clears snow from underneath, and helps pull the heavier vehicle free, turning his own difficult evening into someone else's rescue.
Is another road tripper who came over to help as well. We cleared as much snow as possible from in front of and under the car and then gave it a shot at pulling it out. But this wasn't going to be easy. The Volvo was much heavier than my little up. It took some effort, but we finally managed to get it done.
The next morning, he becomes stuck himself. A snowplow warns against continuing toward Geiranger. Visibility disappears, and the steep road feels unsafe. After consulting nearby travelers, he turns around and abandons the route rather than forcing it.
Do you think go back and go up the way we came?
I don't feel safe going that way, at least.
Do you want us to turn around so you can follow us back up?
Yeah, maybe it's a good idea. I think I'm going back to the place where we were. What are you guys going to do?
I think I'll turn. Yeah.
There is a snowplow clearing the road. Okay. Right, so I think we are going to stay here for at least a while. We're not going to go down, unfortunately, to Geiranger.
That night brings another failure. The diesel heater will not start because the inverter has stopped supplying power. He loses his planned heat source in severe winter conditions, reinforcing why cold weather travel needs backup insulation and alternative shelter plans. Not just one heater.
I'm going to switch on the inverter. Where is it? There it is. Now something should happen. It's going to start scanning for the device. So the diesel heater is not working. It doesn't switch on. Sometimes I'm getting so tired of being me. Oh, we can measure it. What's going on? I'm going to measure if there's even power going to the diesel heater. Volts. See, there's no power.
Story number 6. A truck camper heads into a Minnesota Christmas blizzard. Ice, extreme wind, and blowing snow quickly turn the night into a much harder winter camp than expected. Road conditions deteriorate fast. He spots possible black ice, sees another vehicle apparently slide into a ditch.
Must be some black ice right there. You need help?
Yeah, I just can't feel my car.
Oh, you can't. Do you need help? Oh, you can't see?
Thank you.
Okay.
And struggles with an icing windshield that repeatedly reduces visibility. His bigger concern becomes other drivers losing control around him.
Sure that you still have them. When you're on ice, you want to like pump your brakes. If you hold down on them, your car's gonna fishtail. But if you pump them, you'll get traction quicker. A little quick tip for you. Except if you're down a San Francisco sized hill, it's covered in ice, and they don't really do anything for you. God, I just want to drive, but my freaking windshield keeps getting iced up like that, and I can't see anything.
He reaches Duluth hoping to visit a Christmas light display, but the storm is severe enough that the attraction closes. Even a heated street stands out because nearby roads are covered with ice, convincing him to stop pushing unnecessary travel.
The biggest light show in the Midwest, which is called Bentleyville, they're having a drive-in themed one this year, so I thought I'd take advantage of it because that'd be kind of cool to go through with the truck and film a little video for the YouTube channel. But I picked an amazing day. As you can tell, I picked a great day to go do it. Last minute math. So there's actually a heated street in Duluth. We can see this one at all. This one's heated, and so the snow has a lot tougher time sticking to it.
The intrusion gets worse. Snow covers part of his bedding, and one side of the rear door will not close properly. He improvises by draping a comforter around the tailgate area to block more blowing snow.
Because it's full of snow. My idea is I could take this and like drape it over the tailgate, dude. Well, it wasn't so bad. Did you see that?
With a heater running inside the enclosed camper, he emphasizes having a carbon monoxide detector. Even with the heater on high, the space struggles to warm while the wind visibly rocks the truck, the coldest conditions he has experienced in this setup.
Much of the truck is moving, but it's moving pretty good. It's like not getting warm in here like it usually does. I have the heater on high for the first time ever. Honestly, the way this is setting up to be, I think this might be one of the coldest nights that I'm gonna spend in the back of my truck. I've slept in colder, or just as cold, but I've never had to run the heater on high while I'm just hanging out, and I've never had to do that. But yeah, I think this is probably the first night that I'm ever sleeping in my truck with snow in it.
By morning, the improvised barrier has helped keep additional snow away from his sleeping area. Despite the violent wind and freezing conditions, he makes it through the night safely.
Good morning. Well, I'm glad I had that thing up at least then. No matter how much you shake and dance, the last 2 drops go on your sleeping bag.
Looking back, the night was uncomfortable but manageable because he had heat, shelter, and a way to monitor carbon monoxide. The experience shows how quickly a normal winter drive can change once ice, poor visibility, and wind-driven snow arrive together.
I mean, last night, it was great. I woke up one time at like midnight to a man or a woman, my bad, starting a Jeep. I did a live last night. A lot of people are asking like if I was drunk and stuff, so I feel like I should probably address that in this video also.